Hello and welcome back to another Omniheroes video. In this video we're just going to have a look at the Avengers. So what do? They revive is the short answer to that. So we're going to go over exactly what the Avengers do and how best to build and prioritize with the Avengers. So first things first, let me just showcase the Avengers synergy. If you have two Avengers on the team, grants synergy mates, specifically synergy mates. If you have two of them, 60% chance to be revived one time per battle, restoring 30% of max HP upon revival. Second thing, grants the ally team 60% chance to be revived one time per battle, restoring 30% of max HP upon revival. So it extends to the ally team and you get the additional, in fact you don't get anything else, you just get the ally team if you have 3 Avengers on the team. Now if you have 4 Avengers, you go up to 80% chance to be revived one time per battle and you go up 10% HP, restoring 40% max HP, increasing damage boost of revived allies by 150% for 2 rounds. That's the bit that most people forget, is that increased damage boost, and it is quite a significant damage boost as well. 150% is not bad. And if we go up to 5 Avengers, which is what we should be running, typically anyway, unless you're doing something special, grants the ally team 100% chance to be revived one time per battle, restoring 60% of max HP upon revival. So a big leap from the 30% up to the 60% if you have 5 Avengers on the team, increasing damage boost of revived ally units by 250% for 3 rounds. Very, very strong abilities. It's really, really annoying trying to fight Avengers because they just keep coming back and coming back and coming back, especially if you've got Phantoms on the team, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But first, we will go through Relics. So if you have 2 Avengers Relics, so for example, if you have the Healing Vase and you have the Blades of Chaos, hold on. Can't be having that. So, when an Avengers synergy mate revives, if you have 2 relics, they have 50% chance to retain buffs prior to its death. This is really, really important. And what a lot of people don't realise about the Avengers is you do need all 3 relics. So, prioritizing getting Hand of Tyr, the goated relic, I think, personally. So, prioritizing that will set you up for an excellent Avengers team. So, the reason for that, if you have 3 relics, 3 Avengers relics, you can also use potentially, like, if you don't have Hand of Tyr, but you've got another Avengers relic, like, for example, the Spear, or the Banner, or the Chest, you would put that first, then you would put in your Healing Vase, and then you would put in your Blades of Chaos. It doesn't need to be a Chrono Relic at the end. You just need to have 3 Avengers relics. When the Avengers synergy mate revives, it has a 100% chance to retain buffs prior to its death, and the buffs will last for 1 round. So, that is the Avengers pretty much in summary. Let's go ahead, build some teams, and then we'll just showcase exactly what the Avengers can do. So, we have the most basic of basic Avengers teams that you will ever see in your life. First unit that I'm going to talk about is Selene. Selene is probably my favourite unit in the entire game. And the reason for that is because not only does he look cool, but also he works very well in combination with certain other units. For example, Persephone. He also works very, very well with Atrops because they share all of the same types. Well, except for the Avengers synergy, of course. But you have a Dawnbringer and a Striker in the form of Atrops, and you also have a Dawnbringer and a Striker in the form of Sal. So getting those 2 on a team together can be very, very beneficial, and he can do a lot of damage. Now, what does he actually do? So, on his ultimate attack, Selene summons an Ice Eagle. It's quite a high percentage of damage, 487. Not as high as we've seen recently, up to 600%, 700%. Very, very strong. And I think the highest in the game is 1500%. So, again, it's not super high, but it's the damage scaling that does it. And I'll show you that in a sec. For every 1 dead unit on the battlefield, damage is increased by 10% up to 300%. So the more dead units on the battlefield, the stronger Sal's attacks will become. And the same is true for his Frigid Icicle, which attacks frontline enemies. So the first thing that we need to know about Selene is he receives 2 stacks of attack boost whenever he receives healing. And he also increases the attack stack limit as well. So a very, very powerful unit, generally speaking. And when Selene is deployed, the limit of heal rate bonus stacks is increased by 5. Not many units apply heal rate bonus, if I'm honest. It is what it is. But if you can find a unit that does that, pair very well with Sal. Now, he also gets a damage boost. Now, there's a difference. I had to learn this. There's a difference between attack boost and damage boost. So attack boost will increase your overall attack, and damage is increase the amount of damage that you will do to the enemy. They are 2 separate things. Please don't conflate the two between increased attack and increased damage. That's why there's 2 separate artifacts. You've got Solomon, who is a tank. Solomon will be the tank for your Avengers team if you are running early game Avengers. He is okay, and he does pair very well with Sal, specifically because they are both strikers. So you can put Atrops in this team in place of El Ryan here. I'm going to talk about El Ryan in a sec, but he's a piece of garbage. For me, personally, I think he is. But you've got Solomon, who will taunt enemies. He attacks all enemies, and is very, very strong. Can be very powerful if you build him up correctly. Now, Albert is somebody that a lot of people sleep on, but Albert is actually quite a strong unit. And the reason for that, so it deals 400% damage, so he's doing less than Sal, and it's only to backline enemies. So it's not as great as you might think. And then 180% magic to all enemies. This is quite a good attack. You've got Albert is deployed. The ally team's skill damage is increased by 30%. The skill damage is all of these skills right here. All of the damage that comes from that will be increased by 30%. And his final one is super basic. Every 1% in his dodge rate increases attack by 2%. So you want to go with dodge runes for him, typically. His runes also do heal, but I'm not going to go into runes in this one. If you want to find out about runes, go have a look yourself. Persephone, very, very strong. Applies Fortitude to this first slot here. Really powerful if you pair Persephone along with Mavis. Mavis's passive actually allows for the front slot, the first 2 slots, to gain Fortitude instead. And it lasts for 2 rounds, so it can be very, very strong. And then you've got El Ryan. The worst of the worst, I think, personally. He doesn't do altogether too much, but I'll read his passive anyway. So his first attack unleashes a storm for every 1 dead unit on the battlefield, increases attack. Sounds great, but actually, because he's not scaling like Sal, it doesn't equate to too much damage. And El Ryan commands a Tempest to a single enemy. Again, single enemy for every 1 damage for 1 dead enemy. Goes up by 10% attack. He increases damage dealt to frontline enemies by 375%. That's quite good, typically, because your damage multiplies into itself. But again, for me, I just don't run him ever. And when El Ryan's deployed, he's increased Sal's max HP by 50%. Great, but we want you to power up DD units rather than powering up non-DD units. Again, he doesn't do altogether too much unless you are running Selene on the team. But let's go ahead and see how this team does. Persephone here, by the way, is also here to apply the healing for the team as well. Hopefully, we should be able to get through round 1 with this team. If not, then we're just going to skip this team entirely and then take it from there. So I do have dodge runes on Sal. I have dodge runes on Solomon, and I have dodge runes on Persephone. That is why they get that holy shield right at the start of battle. Now we do get the proc of the healing vase, which will heal Sal. That also increases attack and also increases his damage as well because of those damage and attack stacks. You also then have Blades of Chaos, which will apply that holy shield, which will give us time to build up. Still one of I would say probably still a fantastic relic to work with. You also have Sal in this front slot, and the position is very important because Persephone will apply all of this damage boost. And as you can see, Sal loses all of that health. He's still got Fortitude, so he still stays alive. But with Sal's runes, what happens is every time he heals all of that health up, like that, for example, he increases his damage, but he also stacks his attack. So he gets... Yeah, so as you can see, he's building up very, very quickly on this team, and it still functions really, really well. So as you can see, get even more healing here, and yeah, he just pops off. Sal, he just pops off. He's a fantastic unit. Don't sleep on him. I wouldn't say he's geared for endgame content because he just dies too quickly. If you can find a way to give him Fortitude, like with Persephone, then you gold him. But again, he just... You have to build the team around Sal if you're gonna run him. So I'm just gonna jump into the next one. and we'll go ahead and have a look at some of the DD units on the team. Okay, so we've jumped back in. We've got a couple of the DD units on the team. I have kept Persephone in here for a very specific reason, and I'll show you that in just a sec. But the units that we haven't talked about already, hey Kate, I think the most recent Avenger to be released besides Isis. And I'll get into Isis in either the next team or the team after, but Hey Kate is kind of slept on, and the reason for that is because she's just a big damage dealer. She deals more damage than anybody else on the Avengers so long as you build the team around her, and she goes in a specific spot. And I'll show you that in just a sec. Same as Sal. But she increases, she is all about increasing that attack stack limit, so works very well alongside Sal. Have gone through that in the Strikers video that we released the other day. Her and Sal, as a pair, work really, really well together. Because Sal increases the attack stack limit. Hey Kate also, Hecate. There we go, I got it. I'm sorry for all those people who keep cringing. Stop saying Hey Kate. Hey Kate. It's Hecate. I understand. Hecate. I'll get it right, probably, maybe. But what she does is she works very well alongside. So Hecate will increase the attack stack limit by 20, or I think up to 40 if you have her red runes. And so she just keeps scaling and scaling and scaling. The more heals that she gets, the better. So YouTube, you're telling me something I don't really care about. I'm doing a video for you right now. Now, we have Dio-chan. Dio-chan is another unit. She builds up her attack and she builds up everybody else's attack as well, or at least one unit per revival. Or confuse, which is why we've got her in an enchanters team at the moment with 2 other enchanters on, which we'll get to in just a sec. But Dio-chan, specifically, every time she confuses somebody, or she revives, or somebody else revives, I believe, she builds up that attack. And it does go up quite high. I believe it's 500% additional attack for herself, and then random other members of the team, depending on who she selects for it. So, she's okay. I think she's very specific to the other 2 units on the team, the other 2 enchanters on the team, but we should see a good showing from her today. I've not invested too heavily. Well, actually, yes, I invested quite heavily in her. I do have her half red runes, I believe, and they do the business. So let me just show you. So she removes revitalization before taking action, and every time she takes an action, she has a 75% chance to apply Confuse to an enemy for 1 round. That goes up to 100% every time she takes action. So, again, it is okay. Dio-chan is okay, but that's it. She's just okay. The Confuse mechanic is not great in itself. It's probably one of the worst control mechanics in the game, I would say. For me personally, I think so. But you may disagree. I just think you're wrong, to be honest. But we do have Arkdina, who is the next one. So Arkdina here, she actually puts a lot of work in. And the reason she puts a lot of work in is because she she decreases the enemy's attack and also removes debuffs from us as well. I believe that's what she does. I don't really use it altogether too often. I do have her half red runes, but let's have a look. So, it applies 3 stacks of attack reduction on enemy targets. So she does reduce the attack of enemies, and she applies 3 stacks of attack boost on the allied team as well. Very, very strong. When Arkdina is deployed, allies who are attacked recover 10% of HP. Very good for healing units like Hecate and like Selene as well. And every 1% in Arkdina's dodge rate additionally increases her attack by 2%. She does have pretty nice runes actually, but not as nice as you might think. So if you get her epic runes, when the allied team's total number of revivals is higher than 4, Arkdina gains repeated revivals. It's very good, but the problem with this is... it's not affected by Althea's passive. We'll get into Althea in a little bit, but she just brings Avengers right back. Rather than seeing a little tombstone, we may see it in this showing. But Arkdina, on her repeated revival, will ignore that ability, and she will just become a tombstone, so she doesn't keep coming back over and over and over and over again like Mavis would. She instead becomes a tombstone, and if the rest of your team are wiped out while she's a tombstone, she doesn't come back. So it is what it is, you know. And then finally we've got Lachesis. Lachesis is actually very, very good, and a lot of people sleep on Lachesis. I would not. I think that Lachesis, in fact, hold on, why is it not select him. What pain. So Lachesis, they sleep on Lachesis, and she's okay. She does very good work. But you need to know how to use her. So Lachesis is she heals 300% heal rate plus 5% of the target's max HP, and has a 100% base chance to dispel all buffs from all enemies. This is really, really strong. Dispelling all buffs from all enemies. Doesn't impact what you would like it to impact though. So for example, it does not remove Elisha's attack and HP stacks, does not remove Gaia's Genesis Glow, it does not remove Arthur's passive abilities to stack when the reflect or the king's whatever it is, when you take reflect or when you do reflect damage, increase attack and HP. Doesn't remove any of those. It just removes your standard buffs. For example, in a mirror, if your enemy had Sal or enemy had Hecate, then she would remove the attack stacks from those units, making them no longer viable units to run. So it can be very effective if you are going up against a team who love buffs. But the problem is, you can't remove all buffs. It's weird. There's like certain buffs you can remove, certain buffs you can't remove. Second one, not as good, just healing. That's all she does. If you're removed on this one, absolutely fine. I think, sorry, is it this one? No, it is this one. Active skill. Yeah, if she removed debuffs on that one as well, I think she would be run today, but doesn't, unfortunately. Now, Battlecry Lachesis applies 4 stacks of healing rate bonus to the ally team. This is just a passive, so it takes effect when the unit enters the battlefield. And then the heal rate bonus is increase heal rate by 5%, stacks up to 5 times by default. And remember, she's also increasing the heal rate as well. Oh, no, she doesn't. That's Seraphina. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, additionally, 1% increasing dodge, additionally increase your attack by 2%. Increasing attack is important for Lachesis because it also determines how much she heals by as well. Like I said, there's a difference between attack and damage. For healers, attack is how much you will heal, whereas damage, they don't do very much damage at all, typically. Now, she does have runes, which are reasonably effective, but if you have just Epic, each time Lachesis takes action, when the ally team's total number of revives is higher than 3, purifies 50 stacks of debuffs from 1 random ally. If you get 4 red runes, it's 3 random allies. This should just be the entire team. When she takes action, purify 50 stacks of debuffs if your revivals are higher than 4, because obviously you are losing that fight. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll pop it like this. We are going to run the same artifacts, and let's go ahead and see. Should we be running different artifacts? No, this is fine. So let's jump in and let's see what we can do here. I think I've got, yep, so Hecate's in the right spot. Hecate needs to be in this spot because Lachesis will target slot 1. By default, she'll target slot 1. Now, we do run basically all dodge on this team, of course, but we also have 2 deviants in the form of Hecate and Arcdina. Fortunately, that's going to see us through this first round against the enemy Dooms team, or at least partial enemy Dooms team. It's very, very strong ability, the Reflect, and can take you out. But fortunately, in this case, we're okay. And hopefully, we should see Lachesis do what she needs to do, or she should remove all of the Holy Shield stacks from all of these enemies, because they count as buffs. So we'll see. She'll do what she needs to do, and does not, because these can't be removed, apparently. That's what I mean. Like, it removed some of the ones from the front. Hecate doing 6,800 right off the bat. She's only been healed once. I mean, you know. And it is Lachesis who does the healing. We apply this Fortitude effect. I think she's already fully built up, but we'll see. Now, we don't apply Confuse. We do get the double attack as well, doing 4,200. It's not bad at all. From, what do we call her? Dio-chan. But as you can see, Hecate's still doing way more damage at the moment. And it's because of those attack stacks. If we jump into info, that's what we're looking at here, is the 25 stacks. And she's doing that by herself as well. Arcdina just done her attack, and she has reduced enemy attack by, or applied 3 stacks of debuffs. Attack down debuffs. We also get the healing back here. As you can see, I think we are fully built up now because of the healing from Persephone and because of the healing from Lachesis as well. So we should see a victory here, probably. We do take a lot of reflect damage, but corrode damage, but it is what it is. We're doing enough damage to take these guys out right away, and it looks like Hecate is doing the business. So let me just pause here. I'll build another team, and then we'll jump straight into it. Okay, so we've built another team. Yes, once again, I am using Persephone. She is quite a valuable unit in PvE. I would not suggest running her in PvP. Stats are just too low. I would suggest using DD units only in PvP if you can. But if you don't have her, Persephone is great to fill out these spots. You do have Janna. So Janna is the powerhouse behind Avengers. Typically, anyway, she used to be. Again, foreshadowing, yes, absolutely. But Janna used to be the powerhouse behind Avengers. Whenever a unit on the battlefield dies, Janna will increase her attack. So she'll retain those buffs when she dies if you've got 5 Avengers. So very, very strong. Now, you have... also, Janna does produce a Stranger, which is why you've got an extra slot here. She will produce one of these Strangers. If, say, for example, the rest of the team has gone down, you will effectively populate all 5 of the slots with strangers, which is like a shadow entity. It's quite cool effect, actually. But that's what Janet does. You've got Nerissa. Every time a unit dies, she will build up and build up and build up until she does absolutely massive damage. Like, you want her to be the last one alive, because she's going to do massive amounts of damage if the rest of your team is dead. At the very start, she's just got to tickle. She's just got to tickle the enemies, do no damage, basically, to them whatsoever. But she does, on death of any unit on the battlefield, including one of Janna's Strangers, she will perform an ultimate attack. And that, again, it builds up over time. The more units that die, the better off you'll be. We are using Arkdina on this team, but only because she's got that unlimited revival, and I want to see whether or not I can get it showcased that Arkdina cannot activate Althea's ability. And speaking of Althea, she is probably the cornerstone of the entire Avengers synergy at the moment, because the flaw in the Avengers synergy, if a unit of yours goes down, they will have to wait till the next round to be revived, whereas Althea's passive here, 7-star passive, when she's deployed, the revival effect for Avengers synergy mates takes effect immediately instead of the next round. Really, really strong. And as well, when any unit on the battlefield dies, as the Guardian of the Spring of Eternal Youth, Althea increases her max HP by 50%, stacking up to 30 times, so that's up to 1500% additional HP that she gets. After dealing active damage, 33% chance to apply freezing for 1 round. A little side effect, but is very strong anyway. But she is the cornerstone, and we do have our 3 Phantoms on the team. So Althea, Nerissa, and Janna, the 3 Phantoms, plus Persephone, technically 4. She is a Phantom, I just don't run her very often. But you do have 4 Phantoms on this team, so add in a unit like Elma, add in a unit like Dahlia, can be reasonably beneficial. I'm going to go with the full 5 Avengers, because it is an Avengers showcase after all. So we'll pop Persephone in this corner. We'll pop Nerissa down here in this back corner. We'll stick Janna on this one. In fact, no, we'll stick Janna down here, and we'll do this. And then we can jump into battle and just showcase what this team can do. Again, we're not going to see big flashy numbers like we see with Hecate. We did 8,700 million on turn 1 with her ultimate attack. Really, really strong effect. That being said, we won't do it with this team. Absolutely not. We won't do it with this team. Because this team is a slow burn. Like, it's very difficult to kill. And then when you do kill it, it comes back. And it keeps coming back because of the Phantom synergy. I've not gone through Phantoms in one of these showcases just yet. But all you need to know about Phantoms is that they bring your team back over and over and over again outside of the Avengers limitation of just 1 time per battle. So you could be fighting these guys for a very, very long time if they don't kill you first. Now, Janna, again, we're doing very, very little damage because we don't really have too much healing on this team. The only healing that we get is from Persephone. I believe she's already done it. Maybe. Oh, maybe not. But we do get a kill. Althea putting the work in here because of the healing received from the healing vase has pumped her up. And again, even more healing here. Persephone to heal the entire team and also bolster our entire attack. Very, very strong. And then there we go. So now we're going to start to see more damage. So every time a unit on the battlefield dies, Nerissa will trigger her ultimate attack. doing this, and she'll keep going. She'll keep going. They're already dead, Nerissa. They're already dead. Just leave them alone. Leave them alone. As you can see, all sorted. So Althea to do the most here on this team. Very, very strong. And now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this next one. I'm going to go ahead and build what I think to be the strongest Avengers team that we've got at the moment. And here we go. So this, for me, is the strongest Avengers team that there is currently. The reason for that is one unit right here. That's right. Mavis. Mavis is the strongest Avenger. Do not try and dispute that. Mavis is the strongest Avenger. The reason that Mavis is the strongest Avenger is because even if we go up against enemy Dooms, even if we go up against any Mistfires, even if we go up against, no matter who she goes against, Mavis is going to kill them. So Mavis, when Mavis is deployed, the number of targets affected by Fortitude effect of Persephone's Soul Salvation is increased by 1 and the duration extended to 2 rounds. So she hits 2 targets, she goes for 2 rounds. That's okay. That's fine. If you get Mavis up to 11 stars, then she gets this last word effect. Mavis will immediately revive and restore 20% max HP upon death. This effect can be activated up to 3 times per battle. Upon death, Mavis deals 1 times the damage of her ultimate to all enemies. And what is her ultimate, you say? Mavis summons a powerful ghoul-like creature dealing 300% physical damage to a single backline enemy. This last word targets all enemies. It does not care. It does not care. Her runes play into this as well. Last words, upon death, grants the ally with the lowest HP 20% chance to trigger Blessing each time they are attacked by an active skill in the next 2 rounds. This is really, really strong. Blessing is applied by Seraphina. We've seen how that is in a previous video for the Strikers video. But this one, upon death, grants the ally with the lowest HP 30% chance, and then it goes up to 50% chance after that as well if you get her full red runes. But for me, this effect is one of the most powerful effects in the game, and it is just proven by the Magatama Relic, which also gives the last word effect to all of your allies as well. So if you are running last word effect, from the Relic and also from Mavis, you get a double trigger of that. So again, very, very powerful. Now, the other unit, yes, a lot of people consider Aphrodite. I personally did until I tried beating an enemy Mavis with Aphrodite. It doesn't work unless you're running 5 Monarchs on a team, which is just not viable in the Avengers team. There are other teams that do it, but again, I digress. Aphrodite is probably the strongest unit in the game, PvP-wise anyway. And the reason for that is because of her steal effect. So let's just have a quick check on the steal effect, what it does. Every time a unit dies on the battlefield, Aphrodite will use her ultimate attack. Aphrodite deals up to 486 magic damage to backline enemies. When she activates, she removes all debuffs from all allies, and then every 1 stack of debuff removed, her attack is increased by 10% up to 100 stacks. So she gets up to 1,000% attack, as well as the steal effect, the Phantom Illusion effect. So here, when Aphrodite uses her ultimate, she applies the Phantom Illusion effect on 1 enemy. Additionally, Aphrodite forms a link with the target, and whenever the target loses HP, she will heal for the corresponding amount. So not only are you stealing an enemy, you are also then siphoning health from that enemy as well, which is why Aphrodite is so difficult to take down. And there's no real counter. The only real counter to Aphrodite in PvP at the moment is the Tremor skill from the new Bahamut unit. That will paralyze Aphrodite. Even the Phantom Illusion effect will not kick in. So that's just my opinion on those two. Isis is still an unknown to me. I only have her at 6 stars. I really do need to get her to 7 or probably even 8 stars as a minimum for this unit to be super effective and for me to run Isis. So when Isis is alive, each time a unit dies or is revived, allies gain 5, that's 50,000 attack, and I think that's 500,000 HP, stacking up to 30 times. So again, this can be very, very strong. This can be really strong. I think she needs this. I think she is relying on this in order to win. And in order to be super effective, normally she just goes straight down. At the start of each round, Isis randomly summons one fallen hero from the battlefield as a spirit hero into an empty allied slot. The spirit hero inherits 100% of the original hero's base stats as well as their active and passive skills. For example, if we take out enemy Merlin in round 1, at the start of round 2, Isis will return Merlin to this extra slot here if it is not already occupied. Running her with Janna is a bit of a nombo, but if you can get Isis to survive for the duration of the fight, so she effectively outlasts all of the strangers that are summoned by Janna, Isis will start bringing enemy units back. She'll start bringing your own units back. Really, really powerful effect. But again, the most important thing is that she is a celestial monarch. The fact that she links up with Aphrodite very well, and Mavis, she links up well with Mavis as well, and you've got 3 viable monarchs on the team, as well as 2 phantoms. This, for me, is probably the strongest build that we've got. So what we'll do, we'll go through, we'll see this team in action once, and then I'm going to skip through all the way to 50, and we'll see whether or not this team will not be able to take on that boss. Absolutely not. We're going to need to use a specific team for that. I'll do that another time. As I'll take a liberty with that. There's no way that this Avengers team can beat that boss. And just hands down, there's no way. I kind of know that for a fact. That this team will, no matter how many stars that we've got on the team, they just can't do the damage required to that boss. There are specific ways to beat that boss. It is what it is. But for now, let's enjoy. So we have the death of our first stranger. Our sphere kicks in, giving us an increase of 75% HP. Aphrodite does start to remove all debuffs and steals enemy Vittoria as well. So a very powerful effect indeed. And as you can see, we're taking a lot of hits from these guys, but absolutely fine. Because, yeah, we're just going to start building up and building up and building up. Now, as you can see, there is a severe lack of healing on this team. It's like no healing required because you want your team to die as quickly as possible. So they'll revive and come back stronger. Again, very, very powerful if they come back. That 250% damage increase is no joke. Do not sleep on it, especially because we've got the full 5 Avengers and we've got 3 Avengers relics in play. It just means that we are going to get stronger and stronger and stronger the longer the fight goes on. So if the fight goes on to round 10, round 11, round 12, that's when we start to see Janna do absolutely massive damage. That's when we see Aphrodite fully built up. That's when we see Mavis fully built up. And if Mavis starts to die after rounds 10, rounds 11, rounds 12, she's just going to keep going. Now, we are talking about Aphrodite here. Aphrodite is just going to keep popping off until all of the enemies are dead. There's no 2 ways about it. We're going to do, Aphrodite's going to steal them. She's going to kill them with her ultimate damage. Really, really strong effect. And actually, you want to run Aphrodite against enemy Mystifiers, enemy Glorians, stuff like that, because you want to remove as many debuffs as possible to build up Aphrodite. Again, we've seen Janna and Althea do the most in previous matches, but from now on, it is going to be all Aphrodite all the time. Enemy Lachesis, I'm not even going to bother with you. We can go ahead and skip you. Yep, round 5. Again, Aphrodite to be the strongest. What can I say? What can I say? The reason that I consider Mavis to be the strongest, and not Aphrodite, by the way, because Aphrodite does tend to die quite quickly, sort of between round 6, round 7, whereas Mavis seems to last all the way through to the very end. She is usually the last unit alive, for me. Anyway, when I'm going up in PvP and I've got my Avengers team out, Aphrodite will steal a lot of the units from enemy teams of much stronger, much stronger enemies. Like the first time I pulled Aphrodite, I got her to 8 stars, and then I put it against what was his name? What was his name? I can't pronounce it. Y-I-V-A? Y-A-I-V? Y-V-I-A? Y-A-V-I? You know who I'm talking about. It was Avi. Avi's his name. But I defeated Avi using Aphrodite, and then shortly after, he left. I'm not saying that I was the downfall of Avi, but I am saying Aphrodite was the downfall. Because it doesn't matter. Like, for example, in my server at the moment, there's a very strong player called Sand. He has been in my server for a very long time, and he's been going and going and going. And then recently, he got Aphrodite to 8 stars, and he actually won YGG. I've been at the top of my YGG for a very long time, since Avi left. Since then, Sanders taken that trophy, I think, 3 times. He's taken the Idrisil trophy 3 times because of Aphrodite. I just didn't know how to counter Aphrodite. I do now with Mavis, fortunately. Mavis is realistically the only way to counter Aphrodite, because she'll just keep coming back and coming back and coming back, and then eventually Aphrodite will take too much damage and then she'll go down, and it's kind of unstoppable. That's why I consider Mavis to be the strongest Avenger rather than Aphrodite. Even though she looks pretty, even though she steals a lot, even though she does massive damage, I still consider Mavis to be the strongest Avenger, in my opinion, anyway. So we get all of these guys come back. Again, we're not seeing altogether too much damage from Isis, but it's because units are dying, we're not getting those stacks. That is what she relies on. So I think you need Isis at a bare minimum of probably 12 stars. No, you need Isis at a bare minimum of 7 stars in order to use her effectively. But you really want to get her up to that 8-star mark. So when she comes out, be prepared to get her up to that 8-star mark, because she is going to be trouble. She's going to be real trouble when she does finally get released. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this team in PvP. But there we go. So Aphrodite to do the most damage, Mavis following behind with about 30% less damage. But again, she's not the strongest Avenger. Don't let those pretty looks fool you. Mavis is a killer. Right, so I will catch you guys in the next one.